All right, what could possibly make Kira print a human being? Welcome back. This is Sean's Take on Things. My name is Sean Redmond, and today my take is on Orphan Black Echoes, Episode 5. We're going to start with spoiler alert. At this point, I'll assume you've either seen the episode or don't care if I spoil it. I will also be using clips from the show as is allowed under the fair use provision of the copyright laws of 1976. Let's dig in. So, Episode 5, we're making the turn towards the back half of the season, and we do get as predicted, standalone sort of pivot episode. We learn a lot in this episode. It begins in the year 2030, so about 20 years before the episodes of 20 years before the events of episodes 1 through 4. And we find out that Kira was working as a young doctor, scientist under Dr. Eleanor Miller. And Eleanor Miller is the original of Lucy and Jules. So there appears to be, at first, a bit of an attraction, at least a little bit, one way, between these two, which, of course, without trying to belabor a point, develops into a relationship and they end up living together. And we find out that Eleanor, that her family is prone to Alzheimer's, and her mission as a scientist is to do everything she can for people who suffer with Alzheimer's. And Kira is working on printing replacement organs or replacement parts for people, organs, ears, appendages, things like that. The Darrows Corporation approaches Kira in hoping to fund projects, but she's not interested. Eleanor does push her to accept the money because it would help both of them develop their projects. And it isn't until, Darrows does admit that they're interested in human printing, and Kira's not interested in that. As the daughter of a clone, and all of the adventures that she had with her mother and aunts in the original Orphan Black, when Kira was a little girl, not to mention it's been established that cloning is illegal in the reality of Orphan Black. I don't know if cloning is actually illegal in the real world. I mean, we clone sheep. I don't know if we had the ability to clone a human, if it would be legal to try. Just don't know. What do you think? Do you know? Let me know in the comments if you know either way, or what you think. So we find Eleanor at one point, as the story goes on. We know that she likes to swim as her exercise. And she's on her way to the pool and can't find the pool and can't find her way home. And when she finally does find her way home, she does admit to Kira that she was lost. And, their fears are becoming reality. And this kicks Kira into high gear, and she accepts Darrow's offer, takes his money, starts working, because she wants to save Eleanor. Kira's negotiation with Darrows says that once she succeeds, they'll destroy the printer, and Darrows agrees. I've never heard of anybody being as smart as Kira and being as dumb as that. Right? There's no company that's going to let you develop an intellectual property like that and then just destroy it after you've served your own interests without them serving theirs. So, but we have to move the story forward somehow, and that's how we're going to do it. Kira does have a very smart associate working with her named Josh. And Josh is sort of the hardware guy, where Kira is the scientist and the building the human part. Josh is the hardware guy building the printer part. And he does express some of the things, like, if you do succeed in printing Eleanor, will it be Eleanor? And put a pin in that, stick with me to the end, because I have a correlation to a very famous novel that I want to make from that point. Stick around to the end. And even if you do successfully print Eleanor, depending on when you print her, she'll be headed towards Alzheimer's anyway. The better you make the print, the more likely she is to fall to Alzheimer's again anyway. And we find out that the UV, did we talk about this already? The UV thing that Lucy saw on her shoulder is just a tattoo that Kira and Eleanor got themselves, which is a neat idea to do an ultraviolet tattoo. Not sure how the artist would do it, but it is in the future a little bit. So that wasn't a Darrow's SKU, SKU barcode or anything. And after Kira gets done explaining all of this to Lucy, that, she was printed out of love because Kira couldn't stand to be without Eleanor, Lucy's not happy, but she does ask, then why print Jules? To which Kira says, who's Jules? And that's the end of the episode. Okay, so the writers did okay. This is a nice pivot towards the end, we're going to run to the end of the season. And this is the episode that it all turns around. And now we know who Lucy is printed from, and Jules. And we find out that Kira only printed one. Somebody else printed Jules. And that the printer was supposed to be destroyed, but apparently was not. So now the focus is going to fall on Daros, which I think we all assumed they were going to take a nefarious place in this story. So I thought this was a good pivot episode. And learning all of those things is good. It's important. And I think it's good that Lucy now knows them. And I'm happy Kira now knows Jules exists. And it's not a production line of Eleanor's, right? Kira printed one, or we think one, and somebody else printed the other one. So now let's come back to the thing I said I wanted to touch on. When Josh asked or argued the point that even if you print a perfect copy of Eleanor, will it be Eleanor? Now, there is a fantastic book and a really good movie called Clockwork Orange. And in A Clockwork Orange, the title of the book and movie are more often lost on people and they don't know what it means. And what A Clockwork Orange means is if humankind, can build an artificial orange that looks like an orange, peels like an orange, smells like an orange, juices like an orange, tastes like an orange. Is it an orange because it's man-made? It's artificial. It's a clockwork, like a clockwork toy or a clock, man made it. So even if it's perfect, is it because, or is it not because we made it? And in the story of A Clockwork Orange, in a nutshell, the government uses some brainwashing tactics to fix a criminal. And then is he still him because they brainwashed him, or, do they have to put him back? And in the U.S., the book was changed. The end of the book was changed because they thought it would upset too many people to leave it the way it was. But the ending in the movie is correct. Movie stars Malcolm McDowell. Fantastic movie. The author, Burgess, did create a language that takes place in the future. So it takes you a little while to get used to the way they talk and what he means. But it's really good. And that's an idea here. If you print Eleanor, is it Eleanor? So I really like this episode. I think that the actress that's playing Jules and the actress playing Lucy look more like each other than either one of them look like Eleanor when she's older. But I'm okay to suspend my disbelief and just go with it. It's fine. What do you think? Where do you think we're going with this? There's only a few episodes left. Picking up the pace. Are you liking the show? Are you liking my show? Let me know in the comments. Just a little housekeeping. I did decide not to cover the Olympics because I wasn't sure how to do it. And I couldn't do it and turn it around in any reasonable length of time. And then the opening ceremonies were such a disaster, So I think that's it for this week. There's some good news coming up. I'm going to do a separate video on some of the good news that's coming up. But just real quick, there is a Silo Season 2 release date. I think November. Get it for real for coming up. Foundation Season 3 is back in production. They are coming back, so we are going to get that one. I cannot wait for that. That's the show that actually kicked this channel off properly. So I'm really happy we're getting a third season of that. And let me know what else you're watching or what else I should watch. Okay? But for now, that's it for me. I'm Sean. This is Sean's Take. I'll see you next time.